chips, the Alice, Gale, and all that are out. I had to order those from Germany, and they're brand new chips, brand new, never been used, and that was a shocker when I ordered those, because when you see stuff in euros, you forget that there's a conversion rate.
Yeah.
And then when you get the bill in, you're like, "Ooh, I didn't realize I paid that much for that." And on the grounds of self-incrimination, in case my wife tunes into this, I'm not going to. But so far, what you see there, that's as far as I've gotten so far. There's a few things that have, like I've ordered, like I have all the resistors. I need to order all the capacitors, some of the ICs. There's a few gals I need to order. Surface mounts I've never done surface mount soldering. I've always done through hole soldering, and so I'm like, I don't know if I've told you guys this. I build scale models. I build model airplanes, and one of my problems is most guys at the model contest put models together and they paint them, and I call them naturals, and their stuff always looks just good right out of the box. But I'm really hypercritical of my work. So one thing I've learned doing this is humans cannot solder as well as machines can.
That's true. That's true.
And so I tried to do it, and I'm like, and I've got my multimeter out, and I'm checking continuities after I solder stuff in place, and everything all checks out. And then I'm looking on Facebook at some other people. I started a Facebook group that's called Amiga Replica Motherboard Builders. So I've got these people all over the world coming into this group that are also, I mean, you can buy a 500, you can buy a 1200, and you can buy a 4000. And the guy who did this board is the guy who does the 1200 board. It's called the Amiga 1200. And what's really cool about his replica 1200 board is he got rid of the 23 pin video connector. Well, he's re-engineered it to where it uses just a standard VGA.
Right there it is.
Yeah, that's it right there. And you can just use you don't have to find the 23 pin to VGA adapter anymore. Because I don't know where I'm going to get a video port for that. I mean, I'm going to have to find a dead 500 or something, because I'll have to cannibalize the video connector. There is another option. They do, another guy has made a new riser card, that plugs into here. Well, and I'm gonna do a run of them, because I've had people that say they're interested for their boards, and the same guy who made this motherboard said, "Hey, I'm in. I tell you what, I'll take care of all the leg work to do 10 new riser cards." He said, and the run of 10 will be about $80. And I said, okay. He said, but for me doing all the leg work, I get to keep 2. Yeah, that's more than fair. But this new riser card has a VGA port on it. And you put the VGA port and you just run it out to one of the, and then now you can use a VGA instead of the 23 pin. So I might be able to get away with leaving that off. The floppy disk connector, if I wanted to, it too is a 23 pin. I think it's a female on the for the floppy disk. And then the parallel and serial, I don't know if you notice on a 4000, they're stacked. It's a stacked connector. Well, you can buy one, but you got to order like 25 of them to get that connector. And I'm like, so I think this is a really cool project, and I'm going to continue to work on it as time and funds permit, because this is something I would really like to see completed. I think it would be really cool to be one of the few people that have a new, I guess, A4000. But I don't know. Like I said in my email, by the time this is all said and done, this will probably be the most expensive A4000 in existence. And then I haven't even gotten to this part yet, because 060s, they're not cheap. And then I can go on eBay right now, and for $60, I can buy all of, if you look on here, they're all labeled, all the GALs, the gate array logic chips, because they have to be programmed. And I can buy the kit with all the GALs already. And then it's just a matter of buying all the passives and the socket. It's like the socket for the 060 is like $11. It's pretty cheap. But and I do have this side of the Kel connector for the CPU. I've got to get the motherboard side for the Kel connector. The Kel connector is another challenge, because if you can't just buy one, you have to buy 100. No, you have to buy them in lots of 200. And so, but there's always somebody who already did that for me, so I could go online and buy one from him for like $20. But anyway, that's kind of the cut and dry of it. But and this 4000 case you see here is actually, I've had this case, I want to say about 8 years now. A guy just gave it to me. Mm-hmm. He goes, "Hey, you're into Amigas, aren't you?" And I go, "Yeah, here. I have a case." But you can see it's not complete. It's missing the expansion card cage there that goes at the back. It's missing the not that I'm going to use a hard drive with it. I was going to use that CF card adapter that I've got sticking up there. Then, of course, a power supply, which I could probably get away with getting a ATX, because you can 3D print an adapter that goes in there, and you can use just a standard ATX power supply with an adapter, mm-hmm. and then it's got the switch, a place to put the switch, so you can use the power switch rod and everything, and it'll all work. So, but
I think someone sells an adapter, don't they, for a ATX to 4000?
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Yeah, so you have, yeah.
But, of course, then I need a top case, but I'd almost hate to cover it up, because it was what's funny. It's like I said, I've asked for everything in red, mm-hmm. And even when I do the riser here, I'm going to have a red mask put on it so everything matches. If I could find a 4000 top case, that wasn't that wasn't in the best shape. I would go so far as to tape it off, mark it, and take a Dremel and cut, like they do the new PC cases. They've got that piece of plug, yeah, and cut it out just so you could see inside of it. But I figured probably from the time I started on this, which was actually last week, I started on it, and I said to my wife, I was like, She goes, so you're going to start building your computer? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to start on it. And I've got, I was a electronics technician in the Air Force, and they taught us how to solder and all that, and I had all that stuff. But, I started something. I said to my wife, I was like, this soldering iron's not going to work. And I said, it's fine for all the through-hole stuff. I said, but for the SMD, I said, I can't use this one. Okay, well, go ahead and order you a soldering iron. I said, okay. So I go online, and I found this really nice Hakko soldering station. How much did that cost? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's nice digital control. Real fine tip. She's like, hey, as long as you're happy, all right. It's okay. Let's go over there and play with your toys. Okay, I will.
One, you don't drop a box of chisels on my car.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Don't, to this day, that sometimes come up. You don't know how glad I am that I didn't do that.
When were you in the Air Force?
Pardon me?
When were you in the Air Force?
I was in from 90 to 99 when I was in. And,
I was in from 70 to 70.
oh, really? Oh, wow. Back when the Air Force was good. That's
what?
When it was good. My dad was in from 48 to 68, and my brother went in. He went in 71, and he stuck it out to the end.
I've been 20 years in.
Yeah,
I sometimes regret that I did.
I regret it every day because I'm like, man, I could be.
You were in for 10 years.
I know. Well,
We're halfway there.
Yeah, there's a long story behind that. And her name is Angie. Listen, if you don't get out, I'm out. Okay, I'll get out of the Air Force. A year later, she was gone anyway. What I should have done is I should have went back in because they would have taken me right back.
Yeah.
And then I didn't. But now it's 47 years old now. They wouldn't take me back. Even if I went into the reserves. So, oh well. Hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
I got a friend of mine, he was in the same time I was, but he was a pilot.
Uh-huh.
After he got out, flew, took every flight he could get. He ended up retiring full colonel, and he worked for the FAA.
Oh, yeah.
So he's got 2 pensions.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
He wanted me to go back in as a roadmaster, take his go with him.
Mhm.
And when you're younger,
Yeah. My nephew, my oldest brother, his son, he just found out he's going to make lieutenant colonel 1st of December. He's like, he's been in now. He went in 96, so he's been in 22 years.
you enlisted?
Huh?
You were
Yeah, I was enlisted. I was aircraft mechanic. I was well, not mechanic. I was avionics.
What was your rank? Got out.
Staff. The staff station.
That's what I was. Maybe it was easier to make it back then too. I made it under 3.
Really?
Yeah.
God, it took me 9 years to make staff. Just because our cutoff scores were really high. I mean, we had guys that were actually getting kicked out because they couldn't make it. Their EPR scores weren't high enough. They were getting kicked out. They were higher tenure in it. So.
Well, yeah, when I was in Vietnam, so I needed.
Yeah, but I miss it. I miss it a lot. Anyway.
Well, would y'all like to discuss what we're gonna do in the future?
It's probably a good idea.
As I said in my email, the library this place, the airport's now charging $25 an hour to meet here. I went and hadn't paid the bill for this month. Hopefully Johnny's gonna be person. But we'll see. But I really don't know what to do in the future. I mean, I thought about, I tried calling the South Mary Prairie Library, but it's closed for renovations. You know, we were meeting there, and then they changed their policy, and we couldn't meet there on Wednesday nights and the evenings, and we could only meet there when they were open or whatever. And so that's when we went elsewhere. Now that we're meeting Sunday afternoons, I thought, well, maybe we could meet there again. But since they're closed, no, and I'm sure they're probably charging. I don't know if they charged us before or not. Probably not. They're probably charging us a fee now. UTA is out on it because, you know, they now want we have to be an official UTA sanctioned organization to use their meeting room.
Well, Tarrant County. Tarrant County College.
I did not check with them.
You may have some rooms, they may have different rules.
Right.
Don't know.
Yeah, all right.
That's not far.
I will admit I did not check them. Okay.
It's not far.
Other library out,
The main library,
the other one they went to.
I know they're charging a fee. The thing that occurred to me, and I'll just throw this out at you, and I don't know how practical whatever it would be simply to have kind of a virtual meeting, kind of like sort of a meeting time once a month, and have like a video conference or something. Somebody, something they wanted to show us from their study, they could, you know, broadcast it, and we could all look at it and comment on it and ask questions. But I'm not very familiar with the video conferencing software at all, and I don't know if that stuff is, you know, the YouTube stuff, that's free, but I don't know how practical that would be for an interactive thing, particularly with the time lag that this thing seems to have between what's happening and when it shows up on the other screen or whatever.
How many of our meetings are hands-on?
Well, that's true to a degree, but at the same time, as you know, we had and we're looking at the project there, we could offer him suggestions as to no,
not that.
By the time he hears it.
You're right, yeah.
Now cut the red wire, snip, but not before cutting the blue wire.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the virtual stuff is neat, but I kind of like seeing stuff with my own two eyes.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree, yeah.
I believe that probably costs money to host that, for sure. I don't know.
I mean,
Well, that's the other question I don't know about, yeah.
Yeah, I've done them at work, but work sponsored, they paid for it, and then they have a system that they use there that they're starting to promote now, but usually I think there's a monthly fee or, you know, to host things like in real time.
Yeah.
Ask questions.
Skype is free.
What's that?
Skype is
Skype?
free, is it not?
Yeah, I've got it. I don't use it too much. But,
According to the web, I just saw a conference with that.
Well, I'm at a conference. I don't know, I haven't used it. I thought Skype was one-to-one.
I just looked it up on the web, and I didn't read it, but it says Skype talked about conferencing. So maybe it's something you didn't do before.
I know it, like, because we have Skype out at Lockheed, and I know you can do it there, but it's called Skype for Business. It's a different.
That might be, yeah.
So,
you might pay for
but
that.
so yeah, so I don't know if the standard Skype that you would download, for free, if it gives you that capability or not.
And I remember at one point in time when we were initially looking at trying to record broadcast these meetings, we looked into a few things like that. I think I did look into a few. I don't know if I remember it called any meeting or something like that. And a lot of those things, they may have been, I don't exactly remember. And yet, a number of them had limitations as to how many parties could be in the meeting at once. It might have been free for 2 or 3 people, but if you had more than that, it would cost you X number of dollars for 15 or 20 people, and more for more than that, or something like that.
Another thing that kills our after meeting.
That's true too.
I'll be happy to check into Tarrant County College and see what they have to offer on the subject. See what they say, but I don't know, I'm just.
No, I always thought it was always, because I remember no matter what it was, it always meeting at the library. Getting a meeting room, was always free. And then, I don't know what, I guess the libraries just felt they weren't getting enough revenue or something, and all of a sudden they started charging for meetings. And which I thought libraries were taking care of tax money.
Right, yeah.
And, and that was just kind of one of the perks, your tax money's paying for this. So
Yeah.
if you needed a meeting room, your tax money already paid for it.
Okay. Conference rooms are, available for rent, but it doesn't say.
Oh, here you go.
Oh, email.
Yeah. Email address.
There's no for rent. Ooh.
Rent would imply that you have to pay.
Right. Yesterday I went to the library in Cedar Hill and tried to talk to someone there. It's a little free, a little further more south, and the person that's in charge wasn't there. I was trying to get there yesterday, Friday, but I didn't. And they seemed to think it was free.
That's not PCC, that's Tarrant County. That's not the college.
Oh,
Yeah, right here, I've got it pulled up. It's Tarrant County College Facility Reservation. Look that up.
Okay. Parent County College.
Facility reservation.
You buy it at junior college, I think.
No, they don't call it junior college
They
anymore.
don't call it junior college.
It's
There you
County College.
Okay. So it used to be at PCJC, but.
No, fees may apply.
Fees may apply.
Maybe not, I don't know, I just popped in my head right now.
You know, insurance. Buy insurance.
Way back when, we used to meet at a church too, so I don't know if anybody here has any church connections. Or Sunday at a church is probably a no-go anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we wanted to consider something like that, I mean, you know, we considered maybe Saturday afternoons too or something.
I think any of us had a problem with meeting at a church, it's just that they kicked us out after a while. I don't know why. Just the same way the university kicked us out after a while. They decided they didn't want it.
Was the problem with that church, was that because of our collection of adult floppy disks? I don't know.
I don't know either.
When was that at church?
You know, the Norfolk, up by Lupe 20 and Bruce Snow. Okay, we met in their community center or something like that, but then, half mile or so west of there was a church there. We met down in the basement or something, or.
Just maybe I never went to that one.
One of those huge mega churches, they
Yeah.
had plenty of room.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there are lots of clubs where you can go to church.
And like all the government buildings anymore want to make money off of us, and we don't have any money to spend.
Yes.
The libraries in Greenberg, about the libraries in Arlington or something. Did they, you know anything about, do they charge at all, or?
I honestly have not checked. Can't imagine that they don't charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes, there was a place where the original Arlington chapter used to be over at Vanderbilt Park, that place charged.
Yeah, we paid for that, so I expect every place in Arlington charges, because they did way back when.
Right.
Well, I mean, I'll be happy to check this place out and see what they say. And see what insurance is gonna cost us and
Because we don't have a certificate of insurance.
No external group using a county district facility may charge a fee, receive donations or sell materials at the event.
Okay.
Donation requests require at least 5 weeks prior to your function. Fees must be paid 2 weeks prior to your event.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to drive that far, the Burleson Public Library.
Mhm.
Okay. When not in use for library-sponsored events, meeting rooms are available for rent. Library conference room can be reserved for $25 minimum for the first 2 hours, 10 for additional. The library meeting room is available for $50 minimum, blah, blah, blah. Meeting room fees may be waived for Burleson Library card holders, nonprofit organizations, or civic organizations. For more information, call this number. I'll go get a library card. I'll go.
We're a nonprofit.
We're a nonprofit.
Well, no, whoa, hang on. Correct me if I'm wrong, there is a difference between nonprofit and
Not for profit. Yeah.
I have no idea which one of those we are.
I don't think we're either one anymore. You have to be registered to be that. You know, we used to be registered with the state of Texas. We dropped that 20 years ago.
I did not know that, okay?
There's a fee involved with that, I take it, or
No, it was work.
just work? Okay.
You had to submit tax forms every year. All kinds of nonsense, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Prove you weren't making any money.
Yeah. Never continued it. That's been gone for a long time.
Okay. Glad you remember that.
The only reason I pulled this up is that's where I live. So I
Go back up to the search engine and type in free meeting facilities in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yeah, I've tried that. It doesn't give me anything.
Oh, it'll probably give me something, but it's
Probably not
pay
what
attention to the word free. Beat it out, search.
You know, say that. Explain the word free.
Well, even if this place is, even if insurance is reasonable, assuming we have to have it, and we can provide the other documents, whatever they are. If the fees aren't too steep, if in fact they apply, we aren't going to be able to meet their next month, basically. It takes at least 5 weeks notice. I don't know what to do.
Looks the best thing we got to let TV or dish.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of, you know, when we were reading over at the South Grand Prairie Library, didn't they have a big TV screen up front? Their meeting room? I don't remember if they did or not.
We had a metal bell in it, a projection system.
Do we where?
The bell.
Oh, right, yes. Guess we finally got kicked out of Bell too, didn't we, somehow?
Started to have a lot of work. move right away.
Yeah, we all worked out for a while. Works there anymore, and they kept us out for security reasons.
Well, what do you all think? I'll check this out. Other than that, I'm freaking bottom of the barrel.
What is this?
Hmm?
What is this?
County college.
Parent County College.
Where is
All of them, there's
One south Arlington, one north.
east 20 and
Tarrant
360,
County.
right? South of 20, 360, and there one. Down that way.
There's a northwest campus, there's a south campus, and there's Campus Drive, like.
Well, there's one that's not far from here, just
This one right, just like right up.
right over direction from here, yeah. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like passive.
yeah,
Cut
it's,
here.
can't be more than 2-3 miles from here.
Yeah, it's not far away.
So which one would that be?
It's
You're on the south
yeah.
campus.
Hmm?
Well, not south, that's good, south.
Probably
Southeast,
southeast, yeah.
Southeast?
The
Okay.
south campus is over south.
yeah, southeast.
So,
They have a map of facilities.
Location.
okay.
So,
Okay,
Yeah.
Arlington,
Arlington, yeah, that's the one.
look at the map.
Okay, this one?
Right. At 360,
Okay, 360.
yeah, south of Summit Road, yeah.
that's southeast 20.
Yeah, so
Okay, Green Oaks, Arlington Airport.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's south of I-20.
I was curious, how did you find this place?
What do you mean?
How did you find this? How did you find, the Grand Prairie Airport? How did you know?
Oh, somebody actually suggested it when the main library closed up for renovations. They suggested that I call a couple of places. One of them was that. One of them was the Grand Prairie Chamber of Commerce, I think they said had a room or something. I called them and they said, oh, you might want to check with the airport.
Mhm.
And I think that's how I found it.
Okay. Does Arlington Airport have anything? I don't know if Arlington Airport would.
Okay, Southeast Campus, okay.
it probably won't work, but who knows? Maybe flat out of their meeting room, I don't know.
It might not be computer, if you just met at Spring Creek, just got a table there in the back or something, I know when I was with, my son was going to West Point, they met at a Spring Creek in, Irving, at a back room, that was probably about, 30, 40, 50 people. So, just, stereotypically, I can't say, just meet at this restaurant, have computers and whatnot, but just meet, I guess, I don't know. Something like that. Rotating it, someone's house, rotate it through, but, I don't know. Meet at someone's house for, once, 1 month you, 1 month me.
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility that would also kind of imply that maybe the host could also provide the meeting material.
Right, yeah. I'm thinking of something.
Yeah. Which I certainly wouldn't object to, because that's one of the things I have a hard time coming up with. An agenda.
Right.
Maybe you showed up, otherwise this would be the only thing we'd be talking about.
Do you guys want me to look at Burleson?
Yeah, please,
Okay.
please.
I'll look into it. Like I said, from the way it reads, it says if you're a library person, they might waive the fee. So I'll call them and find out.
You have to be a citizen of Burleson to have a library.
Though it's free if you're a citizen, and if you're not, they'll charge you so much, X amount. Library card. That's the way I think. I'll check
They said,
library in Cedar Hill. Like I said, I'll check with them. I tried to check with them, but the person wasn't there. So
We could probably afford to spend $20 or $30 a year for a library card for you or something.
Yeah. Like I said, I live there, so
Oh, you do?
yeah, I live in Burleson,
Oh, I didn't know
so it shouldn't be a problem.
Oh,
Yeah.
Getting
Oh, yeah.
a library card.
okay.
library
Yeah.
card for free.
All right. Give that a try.
Where's that?
It is just south of Fort Worth, so on 35.
35
W, yeah, 35. I forget. Where I'm from, there are no W's and E's on the interstate. It's I-40.
I can't tell you how irritated I get with the weather reports or something. They talk about, this is going to be hitting 35. People, Interstate 35 doesn't exist.
No,
South of Denton and north of where? Waco? Or
Waco, yeah, or almost Waco. You have E and W.
It doesn't exist. So which one are you talking about?
All because we had Fort Worth versus Dallas for a long time. Very powerful man in Fort Worth.
Yeah, so I'll call them tomorrow.
Okay.
I'll call them
Appreciate it.
tomorrow. And then you'll call Cedar Hill on your side.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will check into the southeast campus here.
So Duncanville, we also have
They got
a
a
library card. I can also do Duncanville, which would be more centrally located, more toward 20. Check with them too.
You think with the college campus, there's going to be lots of empty rooms on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another question on the subject. I mean, we want to try and continue this, Sunday afternoon about the same time frame or whatever.
Definitely.
I'm open to anything, it doesn't really matter to me.
Okay.
Evenings, night. Sunday,
Weekends work
Saturday,
better for me, just cause.
Okay.
Saturdays, whatever, fine too.
And I know that we have some people in the group that can't make it out on Sunday. That they could probably make it on a Saturday, but like Sundays, for whatever reason, I don't know why. Like I know Greg used to be able to come, but since we switched it to the weekend.
He was all for Sunday. Sunday's great, yeah. Switch to Sunday, don't see him anymore.
While we're at it, while we're all checking on these places, you might ask them if they actually have a monitor. But I find that real
That's
handy,
convenient.
not having to lug a monitor to the meeting.
In Cedar Hill, I went in the meeting room, used to use it a long time ago, but there's a big TV on the wall.
Okay.
It's probably slightly smaller than that, but pretty large.
Okay.
It was up on the wall, and I'm sure HDMI or something hooked up into it. So they had that, and they got Wi-Fi there. So I'll check on that. This place is listing out, just Google. It says your local chamber of commerce, your bank, the local library, the restaurant, banquet room, hotel conference room, co-working facility. And here the people meetings, like one-on-one meetings, basically. Starbucks, I know was a lot of people go to Starbucks and meet and work, but
It seems like a private room.
I don't have a private room. No, you don't have a private room, but you're just meeting in a public place, and you're not. I don't know if you can really do a lot of this. Bring computers, probably not. But it's just it's kind of spitballing.
I'll say that.
Is that?
There's plenty of computers in Starbucks.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of computers, but I rarely see any that are apart in pieces and disassembled. There's a Meadows Conference Center, a collection of meeting spaces offered to nonprofit organizations at no cost.
What was that again?
Meadows Conference Center. Eligible to use organizations, government entities must have an office located in the state of Texas. Nonprofit organizations must also have a 501 (C) (3) tax exempt status. Determination letter from the IRS. So, but if it costs us, I don't know, get someone prepared, or it costs $50 to do it for a year, then that's, I don't know, then maybe it's worth it. We form your 501(c)(3) for a low fee of $395.
Yeah, low fee.
Well, we could always use Amiga to make robocalls and see if we can get that. For 501(c), we could probably get some, put out $1 million, we might get 1 or 2 donations. We could get the,
We need to start a GoFundMe account.
exactly. Contact the Russians, Vladimir Putin, and have him back us.
I just want to say there was no collusion.
See, as of 2000s, since the form must be accompanied by $850 filing fee, first receipt exceed 10,000. $400 fee if it's less than 10,000.
I don't know.
This has to be, that's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Be darn good.
Well, assuming we're still in business, should we nominate club officers to be voted upon at a future meeting?
Good.
It is that time, I think.
I nominate that we keep the current slate of officers. No changes.
You would.
Yeah. Yeah. You're a second? Second.
You would.
Well, any discussion, any resignations? Any coup attempts? Anybody want to take over? Want to be treasurer?
Notice no one spoke up for that one.
Yeah.
No one even wants to give me their money.
It's so fun, tell you.
Anybody do this month? Did you collect any?
Yeah, that's a man, I already got the money.
All right, good. And next month, if we have a meeting, I'll pay. If we don't,
Am I
Catch you the
correct,
next month.
am I correct in assuming that I should call the airport here and tell them we are not going to be meeting here anymore?
I would say so.
To work something else out, because we
Let's
sure
say-
can't afford it.
Unless they waive their fees or something, no, we just can't afford it.
I will cancel November and December.
Did you talk to someone? Did you come in and talk to someone about it at all? Or?
No, I talked to the person here on the phone about
Right.
it when Johnny or somebody said, well, hey. I sent out
Yeah.
the notice they sent me, I guess it was Johnny, I think, commented that there was wording in there that said something
8 hour
about
minimum.
8 hour minimum.
Right, I saw that, yeah.
And I talked to her about that. She said, oh, no, I apologize. I did not word that properly.
Mhm.
So So for this meeting this month, 6250.
Right.
That's way too much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wonder if they'd be willing to give it to us for free under the stipulation that if somebody else wanted to pay for the space, they would kick us out for that month. I mean, that would seem to be reasonable to me. We ain't gonna pay for it, so they can have the place sitting there empty.
Well,
If no one else is using it,
Nobody else is using it.
you know.
I will, I'll give them a call tomorrow and tell them we're canceling it, but, no, I'll bring that up and suggest it to them, but.
I don't think they're gonna go for it. I don't know why they
Or
are.
I doubt that they will, but I know.
Or like, since already paid, but we gotta be grandfathered to already reserved it, already reserved it, and the understanding was there was no fee.
Well, the grandfather isn't gonna do any good past the end of the year. So
Yeah, I know,
that doesn't help much anyway.
I know.
But it does seem to me that if nobody else wants the space, that they might just, well, let us keep coming to it. You know? 'Cause we're not gonna pay for it one way or another.
Okay. See what I can do, well, maybe they just got mad at us when we always booked their fancy blinds there by filling with them. You and Dan, I think.
I think so.
Last month, was the first time we even had anybody show up after us.
Yeah,
Yes.
Never been anybody here before. I've seen them.
before or after now. We've been here.
I know I came here once on the wrong day, wrong Sunday, and it was somebody nice meeting.
That many people or?
Yeah.
Oh,
I come around the corner, all right, we got a big meeting going today, all right. I don't recognize any of these people. Then you're alone. I think you went to the wrong place, wrong time.
good place, wrong time.
So on a more upbeat note,
Okay.
Always.
I did buy, I bought 314, downloaded it. Buddy of mine burned me a ROM, new Kickstart ROM, and it works really good. It works really, it was actually worth, well, $45 because I had to buy the ROM chip from my friend to burn the EEPROM, but it works really good. It really does. It works really good.
Sounds like they put some more
Yeah.
into it.
So is it is it more software? Is you
It's a
ROM too? Or
yeah. It's a whole new Kickstart ROM.
Uh-huh.
You can actually partition large capacity drives. So if you have a 16 gig drive, you can make a 16 gig instead of being confined to that 2 gig limit. Now you can have a 16 gig Amiga drive. You can have, remember one of the, a friend of mine, the guy who did this, he did a terabyte and it worked. I wish I had back in the day, I used to have a Picasso card. I really wish I would have kept that. But it's, y'all running 3.5 or 3.9 still?
Yeah, 3.9.
3.9. There's a lot of, like, well, why didn't they name this 3.9.5 or something like that?
Kind of
Yeah, and they said the reason
confused me.
being is, I guess the right pronunciation Hague and Partner, who originally did 3.5 and 3.9. You know, that code has been lost. It's gone. So they had to go back, and that's why it's called 3.1.4, because there can't be any continuation, because the people who worked on that, they don't have it. All the source code has been lost to it. So it is pretty cool though when you copy a file that comes up with a regular, like a Windows style, 0 to 100% little progress bar now. And there's new preferences in it. I thought about carting my 2000 up here, but man, that thing's heavy.
So is this equal to or better than 3.9?
It's better.
You don't need like 3.5 and 3.9. You just
You just get this.
3.1. You can just install it now.
I mean, it goes, and it's really good, because I just installed it on top of 3.1, and it comes up with a dialog searching for obsolete files, and then you see it start going through installing overriding files, and and it's really cool because I use my Go tag, because when you download it, it comes as one big zip file, and if you want to put it on disk, you have to have a converter to write it back. But I just use
You mean disk as in a CD or
floppy disk.
Floppy disk.
Yeah, because it comes install, workbench, storage, fonts, locale, and all that.
ADF or
ADF. But I copied them once I unzipped them on my PC. I just put the USB in there and just moved it over to that, and then plugged it into my GoTech on my 2000, and just put it in the little slots. You guys have a GoTech? You ever used one?
Yeah.
I want to tell you that the GoTech, once you figure it out how it works, which takes about 5 minutes to really get, you never use a floppy disk again.
it's a micro USB card or
No, it's this.
micro SD card.
This right here.
Oh, okay. Use it in place of floppy.
Yeah, it plugs into the floppy. You plug your floppy and you plug your power in. The biggest thing you do is dump this thing, though. This thing's useless. And I've got it for this. You can have an OLED, and it actually writes out. It'll say workbench.adf on it. And I haven't done it. I thought about doing it, but you can hook in a speaker on this. So when it's calling it up, it goes, bzz, 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 bzz. It sounds like a floppy disk. But yeah, once I got it loaded in, once I moved everything into what slot it needed to be in, you just use the up and down buttons. When it says insert locale in, you just go up until it says locale. You let it sit, and all of a sudden just it starts copying the files. And then when it says insert fonts, you just scroll through. And
So it's a floppy connector on the back?
Yes, standard floppy connector.
And you use USB with USB stick in there?
Mm-hmm. Right here. And there's a file, it's called HXC floppy, and you put that on the USB stick so the Amiga can read it. And then you've got, when you buy one of these, it doesn't come with these jumpers right here. So you have to put those on, which it's a piece of cake to put them on. And because when you get this in, it's programmed for a PC, and you have to reflash it for an Amiga, which takes about 3 seconds to reflash it. But yeah, after having one of these, all my 1200, this one, my 2000, even my Atari ST, I put a GoTech in it. And they're just.
Where'd you get that from? Is that from you by the lake or being a kid or?
Actually, I bought this one off Amazon. You can buy them already pre-programmed, but which is probably, yeah, at Amiga on the Lake or wherever. You can buy them pre-programmed. I mean, I had to learn it the hard way, do it myself. But I've got I went to the way to buy the programmer. You go to Fry's, and there's a little thing. It's called an FTDI, and you plug in the power. You plug into the transmit and receive here. You put a jumper on, and then you bring up this program on your PC, and you load up the Amiga firmware, and it flashes it, and you're done. And you're done. But
Seen that at GoTech?
A GoTech.
I think very good one.
That's a great.
So the 314 comes on floppies. Available now.
It's available now. Well, I think right now, if you buy it, you get it digitally. Okay, so you have to make your own floppies, or you have to use the GoTech with it. It does not come with a ROM. You get the ROM file, but you have to burn it to a ROM. Okay, they said here probably by the end of October, the first part of November, you can buy it as a complete kit. So I just happened to get lucky just because a friend of mine has an EEPROM.
You just load this over top of 3.9.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. So
The ROM, the ROM you say comes as a file,
it comes as a file.
which would be perhaps useful if you wanted to run this under like Amiga Forever or something.
You sure can. On my Amiga, on my Amiga 1, I've already got it set up, and that's the kick.rom file, and it comes up 314. So I set it up on that as well. So
I'm thinking more of my Raspberry Pi.
yeah, and I want to try it on mine and see, running a media, see if I can get it to work.
That's the GoTech or?
Should
work.
314.
That's
314.
Yeah.
Yeah, should work.
It should work. I could never get 3.9 to work on my Raspberry Pi. I
I'm looking here.
Yeah, I can never get it to work. I don't know. It's the operator. I know it is because I've seen videos of people running it, but
Yeah, I run it.
it's the operator.
It is tough to get going. And I sat there and I thought, what if I do it wrong? I know how to do this.
You have to help me get my money here. I'm not running Indian, I'm running UAE for ARM.
UAE for ARM? No, I haven't tried that.
Well, I wanted it because I really wanted.
You want to run Linux.
Yeah. I wanted a full-blown operating system underneath it, not the stripped-down version that Andy is using. I can. Come on, window, and I can this little Helios I created. And there it is.
See, I knew it was the operator. See, what's nice about that? You don't have to build the motherboard. You don't have to go find all these parts.
When you got 3.14, you have to buy it for a specific machine.
Yes, you do.
Right, that's what we kind of look
And it is serialized.
Mm-hmm.
So when you download it, that ROM image file is connected to your software. So I can't give you my file
Right.
to burn an EEPROM to install it. It won't work. That's how they're getting around the piracy aspect of it. You know, because remember back in the day, shoot, hey, 204's out. Here you go.
Yeah.
You know, 21's out here.
So when you say it's for a specific machine, that for the most part, though, refers to the ROM.
Yeah, the ROM. And you've got, and when you download it, like I bought mine for, of course, because when you probably look it up, but there's like a 1200, a 4000, and then there's an Amiga 600, 500, 600, and 2000 version. And then it comes, and then when you download it, like when I downloaded mine, it's got an extra disc in it and it says A2000 modules. I haven't figured out what that's for, but I've got this extra disc that says it with a bunch of extra libraries on it. I don't know if AOTL's got it yet. You might have to just do a Google search or whatever and just type in Amiga OS 314.
It's OS 3.14.
Yeah, 3.1.4.
No, it's not gonna be.
Okay, they would go back on Google and search for it. BeagleOS.
Because it's not Google. That's what they say it stands for. Because it's not Google. Bing.
That's 3.1.4. 3.1.4.
Oh, like pot. And go to. Just click on one of those. Yeah. I've got here. HyperionEntertainment.com.
Oh, there you go. Okay, I'm hearing it. Okay.
And it comes, and when you install it, it looks like this. But if you go to the storage disk, you can install the new icon set for it. But don't install it on like a 500 or whatever, or 2000, because they don't look near that good. You gotta have an AGA machine or a video card to have it look that good. I installed those new icons, and I was like, oh, this looks horrible. So I dropped the resolution and I put it to 32 colors. Oh, this still looks horrible.
Okay, there you go.
Reinstalled Magic Workbench.
Okay. Various machines, okay.
I wonder if it's the SCSI. Yeah, I wonder if it's the SCSI card support.
4000T, like, 4000T is the work-based library in the ROM rather than being file. I've never heard of it, but I think that was because they could make room for a SCSI controller in there if it got something bigger.
Yeah.
But it's, for some reason, the work-based library got moved into ROM.
So that's what I got. From my
Yours is a 4000D converted to an L.
Oh, so it's basically just.
Yeah, you'd be getting a 4000 next about it.
Well, if I get a 3000T, if that would cover 3000T or not. Doesn't say one way or the other, but.
Well, I would think the 3002 is a different. It's got the controller and all that stuff.
You actually have one of those?
Yeah, I
You
brought
brought
it
it
in, I brought it here a couple months ago. It was heavy.
And he's trying to fix it.
Yeah, I'm having
It's
issues.
the only thing I've seen that's heavier than a G5.
Weighs, I think I weigh 55 or 60 pounds.
What's wrong with it?
It won't boot up. I think it's the power supply.
Yeah, we look at the power supply.
Everybody has stuff for the desktop 3000, not 3000T,
I think it's time for a recap.
possibly.
Yeah, you find somebody.
You think it's power supply or I thought we were thinking it was some of those little chips in there.
I think it's power supply.
I think maybe the power supply, but
That's what was acting when we first tried to use it some last year, so. Seemed like it was trying to do something that never get going.
3000T was always like, to me, that was like the ultimate Amiga. I don't know why, but I remember when I first saw a 3000T, I was like, now that's what a computer looks like, right there.
it is huge and heavy. It's all steel.
They look at it, they're all steel, steel everywhere.
But that's quality. They don't build stuff like that.
No, it's a tank. It is a tank.
So I assume this 3.1.4 that doesn't. You don't have to, once you install it, you don't have to put these patches on it. Like
No.
Half a dozen different warning
No.
bags.
Nope, you don't have to do none of that stuff. You don't have to do none of that stuff.
At least at the moment, at least till they find a few bugs.
Well, they did, there, inevitably there's gonna be some, because there always is, but a lot of people beta tested that. Man, they were like sworn to secrecy too, because when they finally announced it, all these people who you see on the forums and stuff, yeah, we worked really hard on this, oh yeah, we got this worked out, this kink worked out. And there were people who, that are real popular in the Amiga community that were beta testing this and were working on it, that you would have never known that they were working on it, because they kept it pretty tight, which I was actually really impressed.
Sorry, great.
But I can say it's really good. So, I mean, don't go the route. Like I said, I got lucky because I know someone with an EPROM program. I was able to get my ROM, but it showed up yesterday. He lives in California, and he's like, "Dude, I'll burn it for you. Just give me $10 for the chip." I'm like, "Okay." So I paid Val $10, and more so for him being nice and beautiful. I know that EPROM didn't cost me that.
Half of that was shipping it to you.
It was. And he did a priority mail too. I was like, hey, thanks. But yeah, I put it all together yesterday and installed it. So, but yeah, it works really good. I still wish I could get my SCSI to SD working, but that thing just refused. I think there's something wrong with the one I got, because it just does not work. So, kind of shy to buy another one just to. But yeah, like wait till it comes this way. Yeah, it's just buy it all. My luck, I would probably, had I bought, because they say you can use a TL866 EEPROM program, and you have to buy them. for it. And I looked at those, and they're not that expensive, but I would probably fry about 6 chips before I got one right. Even though it's just a matter of copying the file over and doing it the right. But I would probably fry a few.
Next month or so, that should be out.
Pardon me?
Next month or so.
Yes.
that should be
Yes.
available.
Yeah, it should be amazing. I would assume probably all the retailers. Amiga on the Way could probably have them. Or you could probably order it direct from Hyperion. But that's,
Is that a German?
I don't know if they're German or if they're from France. They're from France.
Really? I didn't know that, okay.
Right now, they just sell them the file, right? They have few problems themselves. and
Yeah, they
problems.
right now.
Yeah. Mhm.
But like I said, no, I downloaded it and I put it on my Amiga 1 just to, hey, I'll check this out, see if it works. It came right up. The Kickstart screen came up and said, 3.1.4 Hyperion Entertainment's got a big round point. They did away with the check mark. It's a big round point now. Little disc.
One was the PowerPC.
Mm-hmm. Running an emulator, UAE, on it. Yeah.
So this is for the
Classic.
Motorola.
Yeah, it's for classic machines.
I just wonder if it'll work on the Raspberry Pi. That sounds like it should.
It should.
Yeah.
I don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically $35 for it. And that was all transmitted to you electronically?
Yeah, when you buy it, they send you an email, and it's got your key in it, and then it's got a download link, and then
Okay.
you download it, and then or you go to Hyperion, and you have to register it, putting in that key, and then once you're registered, it takes you to a download link where you can download it, and then it downloads straight to your machine.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I figured, I'm sure there's a lot of other things I could have spent $35 on, but I waited a few days before I got it because I wanted to hear if there was any major problems. I think the only problem I've heard is people who have 4000s with a warp engine. They're having some issues with a warp engine, accelerator, warp engine accelerator. That's the one that's got all the sims on it.
Kind of problems.
What kind of problems were they? I think it wasn't. It wasn't. It didn't have to do with RAM. I hate using the word stability, but I think it was stability. I'll have to research it some more. But I remember reading it says, this one guy was saying, yeah, I'm having problems with the new install of my warp engine. So I remember the warp engine, that was a good accelerator.
I have on my 3000T that's not working. Fully.
Is that the name accelerator?
Warp.
Yeah, warp engine. That's what it is, yeah.
I think it was called a warp engine 040, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, 60. Yeah, you were out.
This one. Yeah, here's a work engine.
We get 60. I should be good to go with this. Move these out.
And I tell you what, I don't know how often y'all just scour eBay for stuff. Well, I'll get on eBay and I'll look. I wonder what stuff is selling for. Man, it's. I mean, I don't even know if the word ridiculousness is a word, but I mean, there's like Amiga 4000 does not power up, has severe battery leakage, has a few cards in it. Guy starts off the bidding at like $50. And man, by the time that auction's over, that broke computer sold for $681. I'm like, you know.
I got a question about the board there. I guess I missed the first part. So who made the board there?
This one?
Oh, the motherboard. Oh, both, I guess.
Okay. Well, this is obviously it's an Amiga 4000, but this is an ACIL 4000, and it was put together by a guy named Paul Resendez out in California. It's a replica of a Rev B 4000 motherboard. Of course, looking at it, you see it's not complete. You have to put it together yourself. That's as far as I've gotten because it's really expensive to build it.
How many did he make?
I think he made 100.
Just did it on his own, or
well, it started out as he threw the idea out there, and he did a GoFundMe,
right?
And he got the money really quick. I want to say that this project was into like probably like a couple $1,000 because they reversed engineered the motherboard, and then a fabricator here in the States made those motherboards. 50 of those motherboards went to Europe for sale, and then 50 of them stayed here in the States. And since I know Paul, I asked him, I was like, hey, I'd like to have one. So he held on to one for me. And I told him, I said, well, tell me how much you're selling it for and I'll buy it. So the blank board was $80. Okay. Then I had 1 or 2 options with it. At first option was I was going to frame it, hang it on my wall. But then I was like, well, what's the fun in that? So I started ordering the parts. When you go to the GitHub site, there's actually a bill of material you can download, and it gives y'all. Did you know there's 478 parts that make up an Amiga 4000 motherboard? So went online to Mouser and ordered all the capacitors, all the resistors, which you see right here. And I'm in process of putting those on. You can see there's a lot more. And underneath, you look on the bottom of a 4000 motherboard, there's passives on the bottom of the motherboard too, more resistors and capacitors that have to be put on, which I've got some of those on the bottom. So that's my current state. A lot of the stuff that you see, those jumpers, everything I ordered from Mouser, they're in Mansfield, which makes it really nice.
Yeah.
It makes it really nice because I get the parts really quick. And what's funny is it makes the guys who are also building these here and in the in Europe, I'm like, hey, got my parts in. Didn't you just order them? And I go, Oh yeah, Mouser's like 10 miles down the road from me. And what's even better is they have a will call window. So yeah, you can call it in and pick it up that day. And they're like, I hate you. So, but yeah, so that's that, and I call it what it is. I don't know if you can see it. It's right here. It says ASIL.
Mhm.
So it's an ASIL 4000. Now, I don't know how much you all look into this, but there are there's different people making replica boards. There's called an Alice 4000 Plus, which is actually an improvement on the 4000 motherboard. Once again, you got to put it all together yourself. And I believe there's another one out there. This board. That board right there is this board. So,
And what is that board?
this is the CPU.
Oh, okay.
So this is a 3660. It's an 060 CPU card.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be. Right now, it's a piece of circuitry, but
Mouser has the 060s in stock?
no, that's
I knew that.
that's going to be the really hard part of building.
Can you put any of the 060s on them, like the 80 megahertz?
He's got notes on the back of that board what you can do with it. You have, I think probably the max on that's probably a 50 megahertz 060.
So the documentation's on the printed circuit board.
Sorta, yeah. And like I said earlier, I can buy most of those chips as a kit, and I need to do that before they're out. And that's something else, because the original intent of this board was to rescue existing boards that had VARDA damage, battery leakage damage. And well, obviously I'm not doing that. So I'm like, well, where am I going to get all these custom chips from? Because I don't have a 4000 to cannibalize. So iComp in Germany, I got online, and he's got and I didn't bring them, but but I can show you a picture of it. He has all of those custom chips: Alice, Gale, Bridget, Ramsey, Superbuster. I haven't ordered the CIAs yet. These CIAs actually are pretty common. I was actually really surprised how common they were. You can actually order them on eBay for like $5. They're actually very cheap. But anyway, this is when you order them from iComp. They come in little boxes. They're brand new old stock chips that he has a boatload of. Now, when you buy them, he has stipulations on what you can buy. You can't just buy the Alice chip. You have to buy Alice plus this chip plus this chip to get it. He won't sell it separately.
Breaks up a set.
Yeah, it breaks, and he doesn't want to do that.
I don't blame.
Yeah, I don't blame him either. But so I'm like, okay, I got to get on the bandwagon with this, because now that these replica boards are getting very popular, I didn't want to get caught to where I couldn't get those chips.
Right.
So I bought them as soon as I could. Like I had said earlier, I can't remember if you were here or not, but that bill was a shocker when I got it in, because I wasn't thinking right. Everything was in euros.
Right.
Most websites that you can switch.
Yeah, I'm not that smart. And I got that in. I was like, man, that was a lot. So, and then on top of that, now I know people who can surface mount solder those for me, because that's what they do. And matter of fact, one of the guys I know at Lockheed, he's kind of been my collaborator with it. And when I brought this, no, you should have seen him. I brought these boards in to work, and he was like, "Oh, dude, we're gonna build this, right?" I'm like, "Sure, you gonna help? You get all the parts, man." He goes, "I know how to do it," and he was like stoked too. He's like, "I know how to do all this. I did all this. I know how to surface mount, solder these, everything. I know how to do that." I'm like, "Well, looks like you're in, So I said, "Hey, I'll have all the stuff when it comes time to solder it up. You're going to be my go-to guy." "I'm in, Steve." I said, "All right, Jay." So I told him, I said, I'll work on the passive components. I said, but when it comes to soldering the ICs and stuff, I'll leave that to you. He goes, "Okay, sounds good." The problem, he's taking classes right now, so he's like swamped till December. So, and I told him, I said, I didn't want to distract him from school. Even though he really, really, really wants to do this, I'm not going to distract. Lockheed's paying for school, and if he bombs a class because of me, he's got to pay for it because I ain't going to pay for it. So,
I hate to ask you this, but I mean, once you get it all put together, is it really going to work? How do you? You get it put together, you flip the switch.
And hope nothing smokes.
No, not even smokes. It just sits there, and how do you know which of those 450 components is
the culprit?
Yes.
You don't.
Has anybody got one running yet?
Matter of fact, the guy who fabricated the board, he built one. Matter of fact, he sent me a picture of it, and he says, and he goes, "Here it is. It's all going." I was like, "Okay." He was. I was really. His attention to detail is when he got the first boards in. He went through with a meter and checked every one of those pads to make sure they were. And he said the worst thing you can ever do, and I don't know if you guys, once again, keep up with this. You can actually there's one now. It's called an AMI ITX, and the AMI ITX is an ITX form factor Amiga 2000. And he bought one. He put it together. It worked great, but he would turn it off. He'd turn it on again, and it wouldn't work. So he would have to tear it all apart. He'd look at it, and there'd be cracked traces on the board. And he said that's because whoever fabricated the board, they farmed it out to a cheap Chinese fabricator. And, where the boards were $5 a board, instead of, sending it to a good fabricator where the boards are $30 a board. So they're the quality difference. You get what you pay for. And, and he said he goes, because he released this all, once he finished this, it all went on GitHub. And he said, hey, it's out here free for you to use. If you want to have it fabricated, here are all the files. Send it to your fabrication place, and you can have many of these built as you want. But he said he was not going to use a cheap fabricator. So he had them fabricated here in the U.S. And he says, and you can tell the difference between having a board like that fabricated in the U.S. versus sending it overseas to have fabricated. I guess we take pride in our work. But like I said, I probably could have. Just last week on eBay, there was a 4000 motherboard on there that just needed new SIM sockets. And I could have easily desoldered those SIM sockets and put 4 new SIM sockets in there, 5 or how many there are on that motherboard, and probably had it up and running. But I don't know what's the challenge in that. But I hope when it's all said and done that it when the first time, and it all comes up and work. I'm being very diligent with it. I'm taking my time. I'm not in a hurry with it.
Yeah, those surface mounts don't look. Yeah, the pass-through is one thing, but surface mounts, those look. I don't know. Yeah, not very easy to do.
Yeah. Well, what's even, when we were looking at this, me and this guy I work with were looking at this board. He looked at these and goes, "Oh man, the spacing on these will be easy." He goes, "Now those," he goes, "that's what I'm used to doing. That's for the Bridget chip.
Right.
You see how close those are?"
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Those are going to be tough." He said, "But all these," he said, "I've done stuff." He goes, "That'll be a piece of cake." I said, "Okay, for someone who knows how to do it."
Right. Yeah.
But if you look on modern motherboards,
This one here, the hard one.
I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I can see
you
how.
have to have a machine do it. I don't think anyone can repair that stuff.
I had a,
On the 4000 motherboard, weren't there some actual wires running from here to there, et cetera, because of?
I know on the 1200 there was,
Okay.
because I know on my 1200 there's some wires running some other places.
Yeah.
fixes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
fixes. But as far as I know, because Paul he's got his going, and it's the same motherboard, and there are no jumpers or trace fixes or anything.
Well, I'm just wondering, is
Yeah.
on the original 4000 motherboard, were there actually wires on there for fixes, or has he incorporated those fixes into what he did
I
here?
think he's using the latest, the last version of the 4000, which made it no more wire.
Oh, okay. All right.
That was his basis.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, I can't wait to get it up and running, but I don't want to be in a hurry to get it up and running because I want it done right.
Right,
And I don't want to have to be fixing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing's worth, like when I was soldering these on both sides, you tin the pad, you take your component, and you can see how big those are. So I've got a pair of tweezers, and, so I heat up the pad, I mount the resistor, I let go, okay, it's solid. I hit the other side real quick, and I do that, and then nothing sucks more is I just put that resistor in the wrong spot. I was supposed to skip this pad.
Right.
Yeah.
And desoldering those is very hard because you got to be fast with your soldering iron. And you're like, okay, it comes off. Okay, move it down, go on. So, the human factor kicks in. And I'll be really glad when all those. And I messed up one resistor. I've got to order a new one. But yeah, this will be a neat project. And once I build this one, I really do. I pray that it works. And I pray once I'm done, I can come in here, power it up, and go, look, it works. Check it out.
It's alive.
Yeah, it's alive. And
What is that little thing sticking up in the middle there, that little compact flash?
yeah, because there's the IDE connector and the floppy connector, and then this is just a compact flash.
Yeah, sure.
So I can, because that's what I plan on using with it. Now I've got some other
And
grandiose.
what is that replacing, I guess?
The hard drive.
Oh, the hard drive.
The hard drive.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I have no idea. See, but I also have, I don't know if y'all have ever seen one of these. I'll just hold it up. This thing right here, this is a PCD50B is what this is called. And it's a SCSI card reader. It's basically one of these, but it's SCSI. And this actually was the one out of the my 3000. I had a 3000 at one time. And I used this actually inside the 3000. But the thing that's really cool with this thing is that while this is set up, you can have it set up, let's say, SCSI ID 1. Well, then you can set these up as individual logic unit numbers. So this can be SCSI 1, 0, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And you can boot off of this. So, you know, you can set up this one right there, and you can have it out in front. So I may not even use this, and may use this as my boot drive, and then I can have separate CF cards as my.
Okay.
But it also takes PCMCIA. This is this one, CF card, memory stick, SD media, and smart media, which no one uses these other ones anymore. But yeah, so that's actually kind of more of the plan. If I recall correctly, and it's been a while since I've messed with a 4000. When you turn on a 4000, if you don't have something plugged into the IDE port, there's like a big delay, and you have to have. There's like this little add-on that you plug in there to make it think there's something there, but it doesn't. It prevents that delay, and then it'll look for whatever else. So I do have a SCSI card at home, which I plan on using with this, which is what I'll hook this up to. But that's way down the road.
Well, there's a daughter board too, right? That plugs into there for cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the riser is right here.
The daughter board. Do you have that then? Or
No, I don't have it. As I'm going there.
One out of 4000.
Well, there's a guy who has recreated it, and his daughter board is a little different. He it has a VGA port connector on it that would run right here, so you don't have to use this anymore. You can use a VGA, and he's made some other modifications to it to kind of update the design, and it's going to cost about $80 to do a run of 10 boards. And so this friend of mine said, he goes, I'll do all the legwork to get them made. You pay $80, and for the legwork, I get to keep 2. And I said, you can keep as many as you want. I just want a red one because I want it all to match.
Right. Yeah.
That's so dumb sounding. But but I want it all to match.
Might as well.
But I want it all to match. Red this, red that, red riser board. So now the Mouser just got these connectors back in stock. These 100-pin connectors that go down here. I need to order them because they only got 25 in, and I'm hoping I haven't missed out because someone posted it on the on the replica board page. Mouser's got these back in stock. Get them while they're hot. Oh, rats! Man, they're going to be out of stock by the time I get them. But on the plus side, I will say this. All these sockets, like right here, these connectors, Fry's. I didn't have to order them. I just went to Fry's. They had them in, and I got them, soldered them in that night. That's pretty nice. Now these, I don't have this one soldered in because there's components here. If I soldered this in, it would interfere with trying to get these components in. But these are the nice ones with the metal clips versus the plastic clips that are prone to breaking on the 4000.
That's for the memory, right? Or, yeah.
And I don't recall this, but I guess the one here that's for chip RAM, you have to have a 2 meg SIM for that, and I'm going to have to find one. But I have all the other ones that I kept. I found them in a bag the other day. I was like, hey, I didn't know I had these. But But anyway, I'm still on the fence whether I bit off more than I can chew.
A lot.
It is a lot.
Once you get it done, though, I mean, it's unique.
Yeah. Baby steps.
Yeah,
Baby steps.
a little bit at a time. Wish you luck.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll need it.
Yeah.
You know, I always said I was going to find a use for this case.
There you go.
You get a free Amiga 4000 case.
Just about time I was thinking of it. You're not quite.
Yeah.
Appreciate you bringing that in. That's
Oh,
really nifty.
no problem. I wanted to share.
I see you said that was a GoTech. Can I take a look at that? How much? I just was looking online. They range anywhere like from 100 to like $20, $25, $30 or something.
Yeah, like that one I got. Hold on. I think I got that one on Amazon. Let me look.
I was looking at Amazon, eBay, but they're ranging price quite a bit.
GoTech. Yeah, they got them. Let's see here. Here's one, $27.99.
Yeah, I think I
Get,
saw
yeah,
that.
get it by two. That's. I think that's what I paid for that one. $27.99.
Was it GoTech has a website? Someone else has a.
You know what?
Uh,
I don't think I found any website for GoTech. You open it up and it says GoTech, blah blah
Right.
blah, but
yeah.
I don't think there's a website you can go to.
It's like an Amiga site then or something. Someone
Yeah.
has a.
Yeah, if you.
All right, 32
Euros.
euros, right? You can throw it on.
So take it out.
And just slip this in.
It's pretty.
And like I
slim.
said, you can buy it pre-programmed, and you know,
Mhm.
this is me on a personal level. Yeah, they're probably gonna charge you a little extra to pre-program it for an Amiga. I guess you pay for that convenience, but if you buy a blank one, like this is, I had to program this myself. It is really nothing to program this. I mean, so if you did buy one off of Amazon, because of course it's not going to be pre-programmed for an Amiga.
All right.
If you buy one, drop me an email and I'll program for it. It takes really less than 5 seconds to program this thing, and you're done.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
It really is. So, it's, like I said, once I figured, when it's new, you're like, okay, how does this thing work? And,
Right.
But then once you figure it out, it's not any more or any less complicated than plucking the disc in there. And what's nice is you have A and B when you bring it up on the screen. That might be something I'll show off next month, depending on where we're heading.
Yeah.
But you can set this up to where this thing's got, and it's slots. So under A, you have slot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's say I want to, when I was installing the new workbench on my 2000, I set up everything in A, slot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then when it came up and asked for another disk, you just hit, these are up and down arrows, and you just hit the arrow and go to the next disk. Right. And it's like popping the disk out, popping it in. It's like
a little thing.
Yeah, and and there's no mechanical parts to wear out.
Right. Yeah.
Because I bought one because one of my floppy drives was failing, and I'm like, well, I'll just go this route. And it's it's actually proven to be a pretty useful piece of tech.
Yeah.
So they say they use these in everything. You know, they're originally designed for industrial applications, you know, that had floppy drives, but they're wearing out. So you can take one of these as they come out of the box. I think they're PC ready.
Right.
But then you can pre-program them for synthesizers for a Macintosh or whatever. So, like I said, it works good in both my Amigas and the Atari ST I've got. And yeah, I wouldn't have one any other way now. I mean, it's almost like floppy drive. That's a clunker. So,
Okay.
all right.
I see we have somebody that actually joined our.
This is your
What
you got?
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I took a look
Yeah,
at
two
Okay,
This thing here, other picture.
Oh, hey, these are
all right.
these are those good
good.
Shoot, yeah, I'll
I
take these.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, we're gonna shut down. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure they're kind of.
Take care.
Still. I mean,
Bye-bye.
Okay.